everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiber Flux. Welcome to week 1 of the 2017 Fiber Flux Spring Crochet Along. For this crochet along, we are going to be making the blanket that you see here, the Tropical Getaway Blanket. And this is a classic granny square join as you go blanket. Our squares look very much like a classic granny square, except we have a pretty bloom in the center of each one, making it kind of a springy blanket. If you joined us for the holiday crochet along, we did a join as you go granny hexagon blanket in bulkier yarn. So this is a little bit lighter yarn in springy colors, and so many of you in the last crochet along asked to see a tutorial of a join as you go granny square blanket, so I thought that would be perfect for this crochet along. Now, a while back, everyone voted on the different colors, and we're going to talk about those colors in a little bit, and we're going to keep them springy and light for this one, but of course you can do any colors you like for this blanket. We will be dividing this crochet along into 6 weeks. This is the first week. And I'm going to share the schedule now. I have a graphic that I want you to see of the whole schedule of how we're going to break things down. So as you can see, week 1 is today, this week. We're going to be talking today about a little bit about the blanket and the supplies needed, which we're going to get to in just a moment. Next week, we're going to learn how to make this square step by step and stitch by stitch. The week after that, week 3, we're going to learn how to do the join as you go technique for joining all of these squares together. And week 4, we're going to be doing a simple edge and doing the finish work on our blanket. Week 5, I have a special surprise bonus pattern for you that kind of goes along with your blanket. And then week 6, we're going to have a spring crochet along maker gallery. So if you participated in the holiday crochet along, what we do is we all share photos of our work, and then I make a kind of like a video slideshow of everyone's work, and it's really exciting to see and to be part of. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the supplies. Here are our squares. They're just kind of peeking up, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about those in just a minute. I have the supplies laid out. I have some of the, all of the colors, and we're going to talk a little bit about some color changes also. So let's get started with the squares. We're going to talk about the squares, and we're going to talk about the supplies, and we're going to talk a little bit about the yarn that we're going to be using later on in this video. So I have 2 squares here. Now, special thanks to all of you who voted on the color palette. This is the Tropical color palette. This is what we had a little poll on the Fiber Flux blog, and all of you could kind of just give your 2 cents and vote. The other palette was called Garden. Now, if you really love that pattern, please make your blanket in those colors if you like that palette better. This palette includes Blue Hawaii. This is papaya, lettuce, and lilac, and I've just repeated the colors throughout the square. Now, as you can see, this is a classic granny square, except the center has this really pretty little flower, and we've used some post stitches and some spike stitches to kind of create some dimension to the flower as well. Now, I also, in my yarn store travels, I came across this aqua color, and I fell in love with it. I just love it. It looks so beautiful, like the Caribbean waters or something like that. So I also made, as an alternative, the same exact square, but wherever there's lettuce, this lettuce color, I've put aqua in there. And I made them both. And as you can see, just switching one color can make a huge difference in your blanket. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite color combination? What do you like best? I just wanted to play around with color a little bit. And I'm actually making this blanket. This blanket is called the Tropical Getaway Blanket because of the gorgeous tropical colors that we're using here. But I'm really curious to see what you like best. Now, I am making this blanket, and I will be making this blanket for someone in mind. So I actually asked the recipient what their favorite color combination was, and they selected the aqua. So we're going to be doing the blanket in the aqua, but I wanted to make sure to make both squares both squares so you could see what these color combinations look like. I think the green looks really beautiful. It reminds me of palm trees, sort of. And then this papaya reminds me of tropical flowers, and the blue Hawaii and the aqua remind me of kind of like blue sky and tropical, the sea and tropical waters and things like that. And this lilac also reminds me of some flowers, maybe some tropical flowers or foliage. So let me know what you think, and but I'm going to stick with the aqua. The recipient thought that was their favorite, and of course if you make something for someone you want them to absolutely love it. So, but the green looks beautiful as well. So that will take us into the yarn. The yarn that we'll be using is called, let me slide these guys out of the way. The yarn that we're going to be using is called Red Heart with Love, and here is what the yarn ball looks like. It's by Red Heart. And it comes in two different size skeins of this. And like I mentioned before, this pink color, kind of this salmon or coral color, is called papaya. This is called aqua. This is the blue Hawaii. This is lilac. And this is green. I'm sorry, this is lettuce. It's a green color, but it's called lettuce. We're also going to be, when we do the join as you go in week 3, we are going to be doing the join as you go round in white. So all of these beautiful squares, whatever palette you choose, will be framed in white, okay? And it's just called white. Nothing fancy, just white. So this particular yarn is machine washable. So if you're giving this blanket to someone, or it's going to be used in your home. I really love blankets that you can just toss in the washing machine. So it is machine wash and dry. Just be careful, you know. And it is 100% acrylic. If you need to substitute yarn, look for a yarn that is a medium or 4 on the yarn weight scale, and recommends the K hook that we'll be using. That is a 6.5 millimeter hook. So we've gone through the colors, but I did want to mention that, let me just grab a random ball here. As you can see, we have this is the same yarn, the Red Heart with Love, but you can see there's 2 different sizes here. This larger one is 370 yards. This smaller one is 315 yards. It really doesn't matter what yarn ball size that you use, because you might have some leftovers. At least I will. Mine is going to be 24 squares altogether. But some stores, I know some of you have mentioned this, some stores will only carry this size, and some stores will only carry this size. And if you're looking for certain colors, that can be a little bit tricky. So I got these 2 here in this size at one store, and then I had to get these colors here at a different store, and they happen, some stores, like I mentioned, will only carry this size, and some will only carry this size. It's totally fine. You can use either size you want. We're going to be making the blanket, and then you can really customize the edging to kind of make your blanket as big, or you can just do one round of edging. So you can really just make it your mission to use the yarn up. We're also going to have a surprise bonus pattern at the end of the CAL. So any of you who have yarn leftovers, we're going to make an attempt to use those yarn leftovers as well. So whatever size you can get, it's no big deal. Just, you know, whatever one you want. And so for each of these colors, you're going to need 2 of them though. You're going to need, now once you select whether you want to do the lettuce combination, or, let me grab this, or the aqua combination. Now I'm going to be going with the aqua, so I'm going to set this aside for now. So you're going to need 2 balls of the papaya, 2 balls of the white, 2 balls of the aqua, 2 balls of the blue Hawaii, and 2 balls of the lilac. And so that will give you more than enough yarn, and you can, because this is a join as you go, you can add to your blanket as well. Now I'm going to be doing, like I mentioned, 24 squares. You can do more than that or less, and you can customize the rounds too to make your squares larger or smaller as well. One of the main reasons why I picked the Red Heart with Love, well actually there's a couple reasons. One is that it's pretty easy to find in the craft stores. You can also find it, I've seen it at Walmart as well, and you can go to redheart.com and get the yarn there. They have lots of different colors, so definitely be sure and check out all the colors. You might find colors you like even more than these. The other reason why I picked this, not only is it fairly easy to find, but there is no dye lot. So because this is a join as you go, if you want to start off with just one ball of each color and see how far that gets you, you can do that as well. There's no dye lot, so you can kind of, it's a join as you go project, but it's also can potentially be a purchase as you go project as well. So let's slide the yarn out of the way and our square. Let's talk about some of the other supplies that you'll need. For this project, for the whole entire blanket, you'll need a 6.5 millimeter K crochet hook. You'll also need a ruler. It's not completely necessary, but I like to have one when I'm making my squares just to kind of keep myself straight. I like to use a pen and like an index card and kind of check off my squares. I created a little cheat sheet, and I will provide a graphic of the whole blanket as well. And also a pair of scissors, and then you'll also need a tapestry needle later to weave your ends in. Now this square, as you can see, I did this on purpose to show you. I wove in most of my ends in as I went along. See how you can see they're tucked under here? You can kind of trim those as you go, and then you'll have ends that you'll want to weave in with a tapestry needle later at the very end, but when we do the join as you go round, this last one will get woven in as well. So I left this showing on the back here so you can see it. So you'll need a tapestry needle and the scissors to help you deal with all the ends. When you're doing a project with lots and lots of colors, you're going to have lots and lots of ends. It's just one of those things. But weaving in those ends as you go along is super duper helpful for projects like this as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I've created a graphic of the layout. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing 6 squares down and 4, this is my little cheat sheet. So as I make a square, I color it in and I keep myself straight with all the colors. But it's going to be 6 squares by 4 squares for a total of 24 squares. And when we get into making the squares next week, I'm going to show you how to distribute the colors so that you're using your colors up evenly. I'm going to show you how to do that and how to divide them evenly to kind of spread the color throughout the blanket. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, it's a lot prettier than my color in squares here, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the graphic so you can see kind of what it looks like in its completed state. Okay, so now that we've talked about the supplies and a little bit of an overview about the blanket, I'm going to talk a little bit about sizing. So I'm making my blanket large enough to fit on a twin size bed. So with the squares and the edging, it's going to fit and just go over the edges of a twin size bed. However, because this is a join as you go blanket, you can really make this however you want. You could make it just 4 squares big and make it more of like a lovey size for a baby. You could make it a larger baby blanket. You could make a bunch of squares and make this a huge Afghan to cover a king size bed, for example. So if you hop over to the Fiber Flux blog, I'm going to be sharing some standard blanket sizes so you can see how big your blanket needs to be to cover a twin size bed, or if you want to make it a baby blanket or a king size bed. I'm going to share all of those dimensions, the standard dimensions for those types of blankets, and that way you can really pick and choose what size that you want your blanket to be. But the supplies that I mentioned before will be for the twin size bed size. So hop on over, check out the sizes that you need. The good thing is if you use this particular yarn, the Red Heart with Love, it doesn't come in dye lots, so you can really join as you go and purchase yarn as you go, making it a really flexible yarn choice and blanket choice. So there are lots of ways that we can connect during the crochet along. If you go to the Fiber Flux blog, there are links to all of my social media and also down below in the informational section of this video. We also have a Fiber Flux crochet along group on Ravelry. So if you're not on Ravelry or you haven't joined the group, hop on over to the Ravelry crochet along group. It's called the Ravelry Fiber Flux CAL group. So join that. You can get your questions answered. You can connect with other people making the blanket, share your photos, and so forth. Also on all of my social media, I will be sharing photos along the way of the blanket and different things like that, and to get the updates and things and what's going on with the crochet along. So that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining us for the crochet along. We will see you for week 2, where we are going to be making this beautiful square, and then we're going to be moving on beyond that to join them all together. So join us next week. We're going to learn how to do the square stitch by stitch. Please share in the crochet along group on Ravelry what colors you choose. Leave in the comments below what colors you like, what colors you plan on using as well. Thanks so much for stopping by, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.